Aleah Diamond. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Coach, I mean, we always like to kind of start off with a meet the team segment. I know you lost some big seniors last year, but I thought your junior class was pretty heavy. What do we expect? Another heavy upperclassman season from the Bulldogs?
Yeah, for sure. We have 9 seniors that are returning this year, so that's definitely we have a lot of seniors here and a good amount of leaders as well. So we have 9 seniors returning, and then I have 3 juniors and then a sophomore also that I look at for the varsity lineup for this year for right now.
Out of those 9 seniors, I know there are going to be a lot of people that you rely on to be vocal leaders, but who are some names that stick out that you think can really be leaned on to be those vocal and emotional leaders for this team this year?
One is Sophia D'Angelo. She was one of our captains last year and is also a captain this year. She's a really good vocal leader on the court. We also have my setter, Morgan Bailey. She's someone just a good leader on the court, vocal, helping out. She's always going to be a big player there as well. And then I have 2 back row players, Alyssa Galeros, Madeline Ray. They're both, again, they're consistently on the court helping out everyone else. Again, there's others as well, but those are kind of 4 big ones that I think vocally are good. For athletically, Sarah Forsyth, she's been one of our main hitters the past couple of years, so we're glad to have her back. She's going to be a big contributor, as well as Sophia D'angelo. So they're definitely some people that we're looking back to have back on the net, get a couple swings. And then we have our middle, Katie McDonald, who we are returning. So we're excited, again, just excited to play, get into games, be in the practice these next few weeks and see what we can do.
I mean, you talked about Morgan Bailey too, and I mean, I noticed that she had some significant playing time too, over 200 assists from a year ago. How beneficial is that for a team like this coming into a season, having a setter that's already been there, done that, had that kind of experience?
It definitely helps out a lot, just having somebody with that experience, having just more of an idea of what to do on the court when they've been in those situations before. So it's definitely, I'm excited to have her be another setter this year. Again, someone who set a lot last year, got out in the game. And again, just having that consistent setter year after year helps out the hitters as well, too.
3rd season at Poland, and we talked about it before you came on. It's been a program that has been struggling to find a coach that stays there past 2 years. So now you're in your 3rd year, finding some stability in this program. What kind of growth have you seen from your 1st year to this 3rd year now that you're kind of venturing into the year where I think your culture and your philosophy are starting to feed into the program?
I definitely notice it a lot with the younger kids coming up. Just trying to work, again, just being around for the 7th and 8th graders. Just here and there at practices, trying to say a couple of things philosophy-wise that I like. Moving in this year, I'm finally seeing it in the freshman and the sophomore group. You see, you're not teaching as much individual skill. You're still teaching skill-based, but it's more focusing on bettering the skills and not so much the little things that I did when my first couple of years here, trying to do footwork and all that. It's all trickling down, which makes it easier for me, but then now I can focus more on the game and the different aspects in that way.
Looking at your season from a year ago too, you were competitive in the conference, 6-8 overall. What would it take for you to get into that upper echelon of the conference, at the top 4 of the conference, I guess you would say? What would you guys need to do to get some more conference wins on the season?
I think we definitely, as our hitters, we got to get more consistent, more confident too in our hitting. I think at times we don't like to make a mistake, and so I think just that confidence in that. Defensively, I think we're pretty scrappy. I think we can hang, so just transitioning that into points, I think is something that definitely we can work on in order to get in that top part of the conference.
Let's talk about the conference and the schedule that you guys have put together. Obviously, everyone knows the NE8 has been kind of run by Lakeview and Girard the last several years, and they're returning almost everybody. But you even have Hubbard, South Range, and a lot of teams in this conference that are going to be good. When you look at it, how much do you think playing in a conference like this benefits you going into the postseason? And then you look at some of your non-conference games as well. Go over your schedule as a whole and how much do you think it's really going to prepare you for your postseason run?
Yeah, I definitely think our conference, we have a tough volleyball conference. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good athletes. And like I tell my team every year, I love playing in our conference because it is competitive. I would rather go up against the good teams, have learning opportunities to go into the postseason. That way you see a lot of different stuff throughout the season, which is good, from the Lakeview, the Girard, the Hubbard. like I said, and Jefferson, those teams in our conference that are really good, and even Struthers and Niles, like we're still good. We're still seen against good competition every time we play them. So being in those close games or chipping away, like try to get point for point, that's definitely something that I love teaching the kids. They're not they're not learning from being completely better than a team, and they're not learning from going against a team that just crushes us either. So it's definitely, I really enjoy being in this league, and preparing for the postseason as well. We also play, I know Boardman, Canfield are some of the teams that we usually play every year. So just playing against those schools is definitely a good experience for them to help prepare them going into the postseason.
Now, I believe you open up the season at Struthers on the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. What are some things you'd like to see corrected in practices and just sharpened up, I guess, polished up before that battle between cats and dogs?
I mean, definitely it's going to be a tough game to start. It's a first conference game. Like I said, Struthers they're a pretty good team. I know last year they were young, they were super competitive. And again, I'm excited to play that game. For us, I think we just have to, again, be more confident in ourselves and what we can do, what our abilities are as a whole team going into it. And then that'll just transition into energy and communication on the court and working together as a whole team as well.
We had your mom on the show yesterday, the new head coach at Western Reserve. How much of an influence in your coaching career has she been? Taking into as long as she's been into the sport of volleyball.
It's definitely been good to see her, just the different teams she's coached, the different players she's coached, how she's kind of reacted in those situations. That's definitely helped me as a coach, looking up to see, and also having her to reflect on too for different situations. But I was definitely part of the reason why I went into coaching in the first place as well. So
now you don't pop up on their regular season schedule, but I have been told that you guys are going to scrimmage Western Reserve. When you look across the net and you see your mom as the other head coach, what's it going to be like trying to compete with her?
I mean, I'm excited. It's always fun. It's just something. It's always fun to do because I can talk to her too. We can compete. We can also learn from each other too. Like I can watch a couple of her players as I'm coaching my kids. She can watch a couple of my players as she's coaching her kids, and just trying to get advice back and forth from a different view is always helpful as well.
Talking about that, what's the biggest piece of advice that you've taken from your mom that you still use today? And what's a piece or I guess a coaching style or something that she does, maybe a court that she does that you say, nah, you're crazy?
I would probably say she always tells me find a goal for them to achieve for each day. Whether things are going good, whether things are going bad, what is something that they can accomplish? And that's something that I like to think about too as I'm coaching as well.
You talked about at the top of this interview how you're seeing growth from the youth of the program. What kind of things have you been doing as the head coach of the varsity program to instill into the youth of the volleyball and get Poland volleyball, interested in numbers built in the youth of the sport?
I would definitely say just trying to be around, trying to go to the middle school open gyms, practices when I can, just trying to show some interest in that. I want them to be do well. I want them to be good, because all together we're one program. We're one volleyball program. So if I can get that unity between that for them to understand that, get them excited to play the sport, that's kind of my main goal for that as well. And I also love being around those younger kids and seeing the growth that they make from when they start the season to the end as well.
It seems like that every time I made a trip down to Poland, that gym was pretty full. There's a lot of fans that come out to support you guys too. What's that mean to have a community that's so ingrained in all sports and just there for its athletics?
It's always good. It's always good to play in front of your home school, your community that's so supportive. It just makes it fun and exciting too, just to see again, whether it's your classmates, the teachers, coaches, other players, just community members. It's always good to see that, because all in all, you're one community and you're all fighting for the same goal in one sense.
What has been your favorite part about being a head coach at the varsity level these last 3 years?
I don't know what my favorite part is. I just love being around the game. I mean, volleyball's been a huge part of my life for a long time. And so just being able to be around the game, share my knowledge with kids now on the court, and again, and seeing them make a change, seeing them get better, I think that would have to be probably my favorite part of coaching these past 3 years.
In all the knowledge you've gained and now seeing it from the perspective of a head coach, what's some advice you'd give yourself as a player?
I don't know. I guess not to be so hard on myself. Mistakes happen.
And so you were a very good player. You had a great career at Youngstown State. Do you ever go in practice and see if you still got it? Do you swing against your blockers?
I don't have it anymore. I can tell you that. Not as well as I did.
I think you still have a little bit of it. Hard to imagine that you don't have any of that anymore. So last thing that we are going to talk to you about before we let you go, your coaching staff, the people that you have working with you, I want to give them a shout out. I want to let you give them a shout out. And the people that are behind you making this Poland volleyball program what it is.
Yeah, my JV coach, Dylan Bosella, he helps out a lot with practices and, again, games, just helping out behind-the-scenes stuff. My junior high coach is Miss Mark W. He's a 7th grade coach. I have my 8th grade coach, Elise Dean and Emma Dunlap. And then also just our athletic staff here at Poland, Brian Banford, our athletic director, Kim Brandt, our assistant athletic director, busing, all that. It all helps to come with the program. I wouldn't be able to do it all without them. So,
well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck with this season, too. We'll be looking forward to you opening up the season, like we said, a cat and dog battle against Struthers at Struthers on the 23rd. We'll look forward to that, and we'll look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you.